Parents, Tyler here, and welcome back to At Home Videos. Remember, these are designed to help you, the parent, continue the conversation at home because we really believe that the conversations that you guys have at home as a family are more important than the conversations that we have at church. And so we are finishing up our series called Dissonance tonight. And really this has been us walking through several passages in Jesus' teaching called the Sermon on the Mount. We've really been in Matthew 5 through 7 over the past 5 or 6 weeks or so. And so we are wrapping up tonight with really one of Jesus' most misused, misquoted, and really misapplied parts of the Sermon on the Mount. And it's really when Jesus talks about judging. Because at the beginning of chapter 7, Jesus says, do not judge. But oftentimes we put a period there rather than a comma. And so Jesus says, do not judge, but he continues on with some commentary around what that's supposed to look like. He says, essentially, if you are going to judge somebody else, you are going to be judged by the same measure in which you judge that person. And so I don't know about you, but for me, I want to be judged graciously and kindly when it comes to being judged. And so that's kind of where we're going to navigate tonight. And really at the end of that, Jesus talks about the speck in your brother's eye rather than the plank in your own eye. And really, Jesus is calling us to this idea of accountability with one another. That if we're going to be accountable to our brothers and sisters in Christ, there has to be an element of us calling each other up and calling each other out of the things that we are doing, the sins that we have in our life. And so a way that you can continue the conversation is really in two ways. One, I would invite you to start the conversation with this idea, to ask your student, man, have you ever felt judged before? And probably the answer is yes, and then ask them, how did that make them feel? And then ask, have you ever judged somebody else? And then we can explore this idea to say, how do you think they felt when you judged them? So you can start a conversation that way. And then when Jesus leads us into this idea that we're supposed to be accountable to one another, I think we can have a conversation about who is an accountability partner in your student's life. Who's holding them to it? Who's calling them to the higher standard that Jesus calls us to? And so I think those are maybe 3 ways that we can continue the conversation this week. And we are so excited to wrap up the series tonight, and we'll see y'all next week.